The queen nobody expected. It's 1135. England's in chaos, the king just died with no clear heir. Two cousins are about to rip the kingdom apart in civil war. But here's what nobody saw coming. The woman who'd actually hold England together wasn't the warrior Empress Matilda fighting for the throne, it was the other Matilda. A quiet, pious countess married to Stephen, who everyone thought would just smile and pray. Instead, she became a military commander, a master negotiator, and quite literally captured her husband's greatest enemy, then had the audacity to trade him like a chess piece. While two Matildas battled for England's crown, only one knew how to actually keep a kingdom from burning down. And it wasn't the one history remembers. In the year 1105, on the windswept coast of France, where the sea meets the sky and kingdoms rise and fall with the tides, a baby girl entered the world. Her name was Matilda. And she was going to change everything. Now, this wasn't just any baby. Little Matilda was born with royal blood pumping through her veins from not one, but two directions. Her father, Count Eustace III, ruled Boulogne. But her mother was Mary of Scotland, sister to the Queen of England. Which, in medieval terms, was like being related to every important person in the phone book. If they'd had phone books. Which they didn't. Because it was 1105. While other princesses learned to embroider and look pretty, Matilda's parents had different ideas. Her father taught her about governance, strategy, and the weight of responsibility. Her mother taught her something even more valuable, that being kind wasn't the same as being weak. And Matilda learned both lessons well. Very well indeed. Though archery took a little longer. At 20 years old, Matilda received a letter that would change her life forever. Stephen of Blois, grandson of William the Conqueror, wanted her hand in marriage. He was charming, handsome, and ambitious. Perhaps a little too ambitious, as we'll discover. But Matilda didn't see a handsome prince. She saw an opportunity. An opportunity to become Queen of England. And so, on a crisp autumn day, Matilda of Boulogne became Queen Matilda of England. She was 20 years old. And she understood something that many queens before her had not: the crown wasn't just decoration. It was a responsibility. She was already saving the kingdom. And she'd only been queen for 5 minutes. For 10 years, Matilda and Stephen ruled together. They had 5 children. The kingdom prospered. Everything was perfect. Too perfect. December 1st, 1135. King Henry I died in Normandy. And everything Matilda knew fell apart. Now here's where it gets complicated. King Henry had a daughter, also named Matilda. Empress Matilda. Henry had made his nobles swear to make her the next monarch. But Stephen saw an empty throne. And he wanted it. He asked Matilda for her blessing. For her support. For her complicity in breaking a sacred oath. And Matilda made a choice that would haunt her. She said yes. Stephen seized the throne. And for 3 years, he ruled with Matilda at his side. But Empress Matilda, the rightful heir, she didn't forget. She didn't forgive. And in 1138, she came to claim what was hers. Civil war. Brother against brother. Castle against castle. The Anarchy, they called it. And England. England was tearing itself apart. Stephen, for all his ambition, was better at wanting the crown than wearing it. He trusted people who betrayed him. He fought battles he should have negotiated. And slowly, surely, he was losing. At the Battle of Lincoln, Stephen fought like a lion. But even lions can be caged. The king was captured. Chained. Imprisoned. And this is where our story truly begins. Because while Stephen had spent 10 years being king, Matilda had spent 10 years learning how to be king. Stephen was in chains. Empress Matilda was marching toward London to claim her crown. The nobles were scattering like frightened sheep. And everyone thought the game was over. Everyone except Matilda of Boulogne. What Matilda did next was impossible. At least, that's what everyone said. She couldn't command armies, she was a woman in 1141. She couldn't fight battles, she'd never been trained. But she could do something more powerful. She could convince people to believe. In Stephen. In the cause. In her. She basically invented the political campaign. In the Middle Ages. On horseback. While her husband was in prison. Nothing was going to stop her. Not mud, not armies, and certainly not the idea that women couldn't lead. By summer 1141, Matilda had done the impossible. She'd raised an army. And she was ready to make her move. The Siege of Winchester. Queen versus Empress. Matilda versus Matilda. Matilda of Boulogne had learned patience from watching the sea. Tides always turn. You just have to wait. And when Empress Matilda tried to escape, Matilda of Boulogne was ready. And suddenly, the queen had what she needed. A bargaining chip. November 1141. All Saints' Day. A field between two armies. The terms were simple: King Stephen for Earl Robert. Husband for prisoner. King for commander. 9 months. She'd fought for 9 months. Raised armies, won battles, outsmarted her enemies. All for this moment. Stephen turned back. Looked at his wife. And saw her, really saw her, perhaps for the first time. The woman who had saved his kingdom. The war dragged on for years more. But it was different now. Stephen had learned to listen to the woman who'd proven she could lead. They never won completely. Empress Matilda never gave up her claim. But together, Matilda and Stephen held the kingdom from complete destruction. In 1152, at the age of 47, Matilda of Boulogne fell ill. She'd spent her life fighting for everyone else. But this was a battle even she couldn't win. She died on May 3rd, surrounded by the family she'd fought so hard to protect. Stephen survived her by only 2 years. Some say he died of grief. Some say he simply had no reason to keep fighting without her. History remembers Stephen's reign as the Anarchy, 19 years of civil war. But they forget the woman who held the kingdom together when everything fell apart. Matilda of Boulogne never wanted to be a warrior queen. She just wanted to save her family, her kingdom, and the people she'd sworn to protect. She proved that you don't need a sword to be a warrior. You don't need to wear armor to be strong. And you don't need to be king to save a kingdom. Matilda of Boulogne. Queen. Strategist. Warrior. Savior. Remember her name.